before I get into the video, I feel like I need to do some kind of introduction. So, hi, I'm Uirigame. I'm a cosplayer, a plushie collector, and a collector in general. This year was actually my first year of going to like an actual retro convention and everything like that. And I've been collecting video games on and off for years. I've been given video games, and I mainly collect Nintendo and PlayStation games. Also, side note, I also just started going to conventions in 2023. They were anime cosplay conventions. I became my first guest in 2023, and I continued being a guest at anime conventions as of 2024, and I just attended like my first retro convention in 2024 as well. So this is all new to me. Like actually being in community and everything like that is all very, very new to me. As far as collection goes, a lot of it is hand-me-downs and stuff that I had, like a lot of my old DS handheld stuff is stuff that I still have. And then as for like actually buying new games, in 2019-ish I did buy like a few games, and I should have bought more, but I wasn't taking it as seriously because I was still in the era of like buying stuff electronically. And then when it actually came to like buying stuff in stores, it was mainly at like local bookstores and stuff like that. Not really buying games in a actual retro store location or anything like that. I got more into that last year, a little bit, dipped my toes in it, and a little bit more this year. And I also started going to pawn shops this year, so yay. So for when it comes to retro video game hunting at like stores and stuff like that, it's been alright. Nothing to write home about or anything like that. As long as I don't leave crying, I call it a win. But that's just me in general when I go out to anywhere. If I'm not crying, I'm good, because I have really bad anxiety as well that I thought I overcame and I didn't. Unfortunately for me, this story did leave me feeling really bad, and I did cry in the car when I was on my way home. So, I go to this retro video game store that a YouTuber actually had reviewed, and, I saw it wasn't that busy. It was a Saturday, by the way. It wasn't that busy traffic-wise, because that's one of my biggest anxiety things is driving. I don't like driving, especially during traffic. So, getting there, the traffic was alright. The location, though, I have issues with, but you know what? It is what it is. I just wish the parking lot was better, and like turning, I wish there was a dedicated turning thing, but that's more like government and their roads, and not so much the store. It's just not my favorite spot I would have chosen personally, but it is what it is. So it's not even 30 minutes since the store has officially opened. I got there 12 minutes since they opened, and I seen it was a little bit busy. So benefit of the doubt, they were busy and everything like that, and I can tell that there's only one person working, and it looked like the guy from the video, which I would assume is the owner, and it was. So I go walking around looking at stuff, because to be honest, I'm not one to like want to be bothered or anything like that, because I always feel like I'm bothering an employee, even though I'm not really looking for anything specific. I just wanted to like take a look at what the store has to offer, and if I find some stuff on my grill list, that'll be great. Well, what I saw didn't make me happy. I saw some games that were a little bit above what I would pay. I got really, really frustrated when I saw a clearance game, which is a Mario Rabbids game, the Rabbit Kingdom, for over $100 in a glass case because it's sealed. Truth be told, a lot of those games were sealed still because they were clearanced out. I got my copy of Mario Rabbids Kingdom from the clearance bin at Target, so like that doesn't really mean anything to me. I hate having and seeing modern games, so like PS5 and some PS4 games, because they still make new PS4 games despite the fact we have a PS5, and even Switch games being sold as sealed, despite the fact that a lot of it you can get in store. You can still get it in store. So that was the first red flag that I saw. The next red flag is when I'm actually browsing the racks, I see a game that, the art style looks interesting. It looks interesting in a, not in a bad way, but like not in a graphic heavy kind of way. I like the stylistic choice, so I pick it up. And tell me why a game that's over $100, let alone damn near $400, is doing on a rack where someone can just pick it up. That is so frustrating to me. That is so frustrating because you have a section where you put all your high-end games, right? It's there. And yet, this $400 game is sitting right here. Granted, none of the games have the games actually inside. They do what GameStop does, where you have to go to the register, buy the game, and stuff like that. So unfortunately, you won't be able to see the condition of the game until you're already there. But since it's a retro store, I assume that they have a buffing machine. And that wasn't the only over $100 game I saw on the shelf. I saw another one. I think it was on the GameCube. It kind of looked groovy. They had like the afro and everything like that. That one was also over $100. So you have games in a glass case that were supposed to be your high-end games, as well as your loose games and stuff like that. And what are you doing with your shelf where there's like $400 plus games there? Like, that's gonna be frustrating for someone to pick up wanting to like get a cheap game. Like, that's the section where usually casual gamers would go, and then the glass case, I assume that's where collectors go, because those would be like the high-end stuff. But I don't know, that was the second red flag. I did not like that. After a while of looking at all the games, I've started to notice, especially with like the Nintendo games, like the Wii games and like the DS games, some of their cover art is different. It's reprinted. It's reprinted. So I was under the impression, like, yes, this is for aesthetics. Like, he probably has, like, a bunch of loose games. It looks nice on the shelf and everything like that when you see it and everything like that. So I didn't mind it being reprinted. I just wish the reprint was, like, maybe a higher quality, because there was this one game that I was looking at. It was Fossil Fighters on the 3DS. It's in the glass case loose, and it's priced as loose. I mean, to be fair, price charting. It's a little bit above what price charting is, so like it would be like CIB price charting prices, even though it's loose, but whatever. I see it there, and then I also see it on the shelf with a reprinted cover art, because if you turn to the back, it's blurry. It's blurry, you can't read it. And I have glasses. I couldn't read it. And I'm like, okay, the prices are different. The prices are different. Benefit of the doubt, I'm under the impression, okay, maybe he reprinted the artwork to make it look nice on the shelf, and maybe the price discrepancy is because maybe it actually comes with the manual. So, I'm waiting, because at this point, I got my 2 games that I'm curious about, and I'm waiting. By then, more people have left the store, and, he still never came to see if I needed help or anything like that, which was kind of weird to me. It's not that big of a store. I mean, it's big, like an apartment, like a small apartment size, but a lot of it's blocked off for inventory. So it's not that much walking space, and benefit of the doubt, I understand he's by himself. That's why I excuse the fact that he didn't greet me when I walked through the door, which is fine, it's whatever. But multiple people came after me, and I sat and watched and listened to every single last one of them get greeted. And he's dealing with like some trades on the counter and everything like that, but he still would step out from the counter to see if someone needs help. Even if they didn't need help, he would just go back. And also answering the phone. And the one thing he didn't do is see if I needed help. By then, I'm sitting down near his old TV with the NES with Donkey Kong Country playing and everything like that. And I'm just sitting and waiting. I'm facing outward, looking at him through the corner of like the cracks between the 2 TVs and everything like that. And I thought it was weird because he was helping 2 different customers, and behind me, that's where the Wii section is. And those two customers on two different occasions asked for Wii games. So he would walk, and I would watch him walk behind me to the Wii games, and not once did he, like, acknowledge I was there, or even, like, glanced at me. And that's where I had the issue. But it had died down, and it was quiet, and you're over here dealing with your trades and stuff like that, or pricing stuff and stuff like that. That could have been the time for you to walk around. And he did do a lap around, and he still didn't acknowledge me. So I'm over here thinking, what's wrong with me? What did I do wrong? Why can't I ask for help? Like, all of these anxiety-inducing questions that I always tell myself that keeps me stuck inside my house, basically, because I really do struggle with anxiety, and, yeah. So I understand that, I could have done something and everything like that, but I honestly believe that, he would at least look at me once, but that never happened, and that made me really sad. It's like I was invisible, and that's a feeling I don't want anyone to have. And I keep trying to do things on my own because I am by myself a lot of the times. I can't always have a friend to help me. And the only reason I ended up getting help is because I jokingly messaged my friend, wouldn't it, like, since I see him answering the phone, what if I just called the store right now and call them and ask and tell them, like, hey, I need help. Because I told him how long I've been sitting at the store, and by then it's been an hour. It's been an hour. Again, I got there at 12:12. Right now, it's been like almost 1:30-ish. And I didn't get out the store until like closer to like 2. So like 1:40. The moment I stopped giving benefit of the doubt in his message when he said he loses track sometimes is when you actively went behind me, because it's a small store, to help 2 other customers, male customers of your own counterpart. And you never once looked at my direction while I'm actively swiveling in the chair watching you. Like, I don't know. And that's where it gets political, and unfortunately I don't like talking about politics, but I'm born the way I am, and therefore my existence is political for whatever reason. But at a certain point, I have to think, what makes me so different than all of these other customers that came into the store? Other than the fact that I was a woman by myself and a minority. Well, that doesn't even work, because there was a woman by herself, a hijabi woman by herself, who was a different minority than me, who actively got help from the guy. So what's wrong with me? I didn't think I stunk or anything. I took a shower before I got there. I looked presentable enough. It's just like, what's wrong with me? As for like the other little things he said, talking about how he's like a convenience store.
Quick pause here, editing Yuri here. Remember earlier in the video how I said that I believe retro video game stores have some level of prestige by, like, maybe they change the batteries, they resurface disc, or, they clean the, the cartridge before they sell it, because, that can justify the price. They're adding value to it versus, going to GameStop where they don't do that stuff. Well, I was sold a game that was dirty as fuck, okay? The game was dirty. It didn't work in my DS, my 2DS XL, and, like, I ended up finding that game complete in box with the original artwork and manual for the same price I bought this game, which was $30. So yeah, this shit was not convenient. This was not like a convenience store, because how is it convenient for me to go back to your store because you sold me a dirty copy of the game? Sorry, I'm still trying to get used to checking my games before I actually leave the store. I'm really trying to, because I'm not used to this. I'm used to buying games new, and I didn't have to worry about anything. But yeah, that was not a good experience. That did not feel very convenient for me. And guess what? I wanted a refund at that point. And I didn't go into the store. I had to get a friend to do it for me, because I didn't want to see that man. It made me uncomfortable, and I felt anxious. But yeah, apparently my friend had hell trying to get a refund for the dude, which, you know, most of these retro video game stores, which I don't like this concept at all. It saves their asses. They would rather do trade credit, which, one, I already have a bad experience. I give you a 1-star review. You think I want to fucking get trade credit for your overpriced games and low quality? Absolutely not. So I wanted a refund. I told my friend, don't leave until I get a refund. Okay, so he wasn't leaving, and he kept saying refund. Dude offered a fucking partial refund, $22, which means I would still be in a hole, because it's not like he paid that much for the game anyways. He sold it to me for $30, and now you're offering me a partial refund that you sold me a dirty ass game, which he did clean and he did get it to work. But at that point, I already have a new copy of the game, complete in box, for the same price that he sold it to me, with the original artwork, the original box, original manual, and it was a clean copy. So yeah, eBay was better than going to your shitty store. Eventually he bumped it up from $22 to $25, which means I would still be, you know, $5 less than what I spent on the game. So like, why couldn't you just give me the fucking full refund? Like, that is so weird. And you know what? I'm just gonna keep sticking with fucking eBay and shit like that, because this was so bad. And he's not the only one who does this. A lot of video game stores, retro video game stores, do this. GameStop doesn't do this. At least with GameStop, you can, like, you know, pay money to have the warranty. At least for new games. I'm not sure of retro games, but you can have the warranty. Oh, they do have a warranty. They can replace the game if they ever get another copy. So at least then I could say I turned out the warranty, so therefore it's my fault. But the retro video game stores don't do this. So, or at least the ones that I am around.
Which, okay, I'll give you that. Because I understand you have overhead costs. Where you're located, I'm sure isn't cheap. You would be benefiting if you got another location that was that was cheaper, but it is what it is. But I understand paying for overhead. And maybe you have employees, but I didn't see any. Maybe you need to hire some, because on a Saturday, one of the busiest days in retail, you're the only person working. Yeah, that's unacceptable. Benefit of doubt, maybe he had an employee and they called in. Maybe they just don't show up until later. I don't know. But I understand paying a little bit extra because I'm paying for the convenience and also paying for overhead. I understand that because when I went to the last video game shop a few months ago, I openly paid double the price for 2 Advance War games on the DS. So Advance Wars, Days of Ruin, and Advance Wars, Dual Strikes. Frustratingly, I paid double the price for each game, but it is what it is. I wanted it right then and there, so that was the convenience of it. But you still didn't address the price discrepancy between why a game that's loose, that you have in a case, is like $29, $30, but this game, which by the way, he did tell me it didn't come with the manual, the game that you reprinted a cover on is $35. Why? Why is that? And then there's some other nitpicks I had with the store, like on the other side of the glass case where there's like a lot of sealed stuff. Despite the fact we did just see a sealed Rabbids Kingdom game with a price on it, for whatever reason, the other side where there's more sealed stuff, there's a sign, a handwritten sign that says, "Ask me about the price." What, so you can look it up to see what price it is? That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous because you already have a price for a sealed game right here, so what makes these so different?
Oh, cherry on top, you want to talk about convenient pricing? Tell me why this game you had in your store is $200 and it wasn't even sealed. It wasn't even sealed. I go on price charting to see the CIB price for this game in particular, which, by the way, I bought this at GameStop. And it has both the discs, it has the manual, and it's a clean copy, a very clean copy. I didn't know what I had when I bought it, but I looked it up, and yeah, I just thought it looked interesting enough. He's selling it for $200, but price charting, the most it's ever been was like 2022, and it was like $168. It never has been $200, so explain that price. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.